Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube as Survivors Post Narcissist. I've recorded like 3 different recordings and I couldn't really decide on what I wanted to talk about. And I do want to talk a little bit about codependency today. Clearly I'm a codependent and I'm an empath. So those two traits that I have made it perfect for a narcissist to hone in on. And I think that's why I was captured and made into his main supply, because I had those 2 personality traits. So I just wanted to touch on a little bit about what they are and a little bit about how different they are, but the 2 of them together really make the perfect supply. And so you guys can put in the comments and see if you have these same traits. So I've been talking about, that I'm an empath a lot. So an empath can take on or will take on the feelings of everyone else around them like it's their own, or the situations, So if an empath is with someone who is happy, all of a sudden the empath feels happy. Or when something tragic happens to someone else and that person goes through, a lot of turmoil, well, if an empath is around or sees it and knows about it, then they get very affected by it and they start to get sad and take on the feelings of them. An empath will take on the feelings and can sense everything around them more so than other people, and some people call it being emotionally psychic, which I don't know about, but I can see how people would think that, even if I go somewhere and I don't know anything about the person or the situation that's going around, I can almost sense the energy of other people, whether they're good people or bad people or happy or sad. And that was one of the things that I was trying to understand with the narcissist. Even though they're a bad person, I didn't detect it because a narcissist is a mirror and they can reflect everything. So I was putting out good, happy feelings and they just put up a reflector shield and it bounced back to me. That's why I couldn't detect that they were a bad person. So yeah, empaths they feel everything around them and able to sense it. Now, a codependent, which I also am, is basically someone who is just an over-giver to the point where they start sacrificing too much of themselves trying to make other people happy. But then we want to do that, and especially as an empath, because then we also get the happiness that other people feel from everything that we give them. So, so we have empath, which is someone who can sense the feeling and happiness or sadness or whatever feeling of everyone around them. And then a codependent is someone who almost doesn't feel happy unless they're giving to someone, and they'll tend to overgive. So, yes, there are codependent relationships out there, but they do end up in abusive relationships, but not necessarily always, of course, with a narcissist. Someone could be in a codependent relationship with, say, someone who's just an alcoholic. Now, if someone is married to an alcoholic, instead of trying to get that person help, a codependent person would just work extra hard to keep, the household running and keeping it clean with the laundry and the bills and the cars and everything like that. And will just overwork themselves and do everything and take on all responsibility on their own and allow the alcoholic to just keep, drinking every day and not taking on and not contributing to the relationship. And somehow the codependent person will be happy because they're able to keep the relationship going, or it could be gambling, or it could be just other things. So a codependent just, they don't know how to stop giving when it starts hurting themselves. They'll just keep going. And if they find or in a relationship where the other person doesn't know how to stop taking or will not stop taking because they are a narcissist, or they have some other type of addiction, or if there is some sort of other abuse, that's when things really become toxic. So I know that looking back at my relationship, I know I overgave on a lot of levels, to the point where I was being unhappy. I was unhappy, but I was pushing through that, still giving and still trying to make, my narcissist happy and make sure, I was working hard for him. So it was the perfect combination for them, having both of those traits. Now, I don't necessarily think that, being a codependent is bad when you have a partner that's also very giving, that will give back to you just as much as you're giving, type thing. So and same with being an empath. It's not bad to be an empath, I don't think, if you're in a healthy relationship. But if you have those traits and a narcissist detects them from you and finds you, well, they just know that that's a good supply source and they're going to go after it. And a lot of people out there, like, I knew I had these traits, but I didn't know what they were called, and I didn't think that it was something that you can label, really. It's just, that was me, right? And, maybe even like a narcissist, I don't know, do they know that they're narcissists? And, they might know that they're like this, but they don't know to call themselves a narcissist, maybe, So we're just kind of wading through all these personality traits and all these relationship types and things like that. But if you're recovering from an abusive relationship with a narcissist, sometimes it helps to know, that you were innocent having codependent, tendencies, or empathic, or being in like an empath, and having those traits. Sometimes it helps to be aware of it. Like I'm glad that I know that I am an empath and I have codependent traits, because then I can kind of monitor it, when I can see myself sacrificing my own life and happiness for someone else. I know it's okay to say no to someone when it's an unhealthy situation and I'm going to be at a loss of too many things for someone else for no good reason, I think it helps to have that knowledge and going into relationships, so I can have like healthy relationships with people that are not going to take advantage of me because I have these traits. Instead, that they're going to, protect me with them, That would be a healthy relationship. And that's what I'm kind of looking for. Not that I'm looking for it, but I'm glad that I'm aware of it. And I want everyone else there that I know a lot of you are like me, you have these traits, and it helps to try to be aware of them. So there's a lot of good videos out there and a lot of examples, and I'll let you guys find them. And I might do more talks about the situations that I saw myself going through. And I have talked a lot about them already in some videos, but I didn't call it codependency. I just, was talking about the things that I did. Anyway, that after all the talks that I wanted to do today, I finally honed in on the one I was going to put online. I hope everyone had a good long weekend of Labor Day. We're at the end of the summer here, and I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube. Thank you everyone for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. The more people I think that we have subscribers on, the more people that we can reach and help. And I can't wait to read your comments. And Hope everyone has a great week as we all move forward. Post Narcissist.